Well, hi there. This is a new feature that we are calling Friday Finishers. Kind of a quick wrap up on the week's Follies, Fallacies, Fools, and the occasional kudos or pat on the back for things that are happening. First, I want to mention that this is being recorded on Friday the 13th, and we're going to post immediately. And coming up on Monday the 16th, I'm posting a podcast episode with Cochise County Sheriff Mark Daniels. Now, you really don't want to miss this one. It'll be posted by 9 a.m. on Monday the 16th. And he covers topics like the border, as you might expect, why it's really improved, but there's still a lot of work to be done. Still some dangerous, still some dangerous things and issues associated with our border with Mexico. We're also going to meet in a future podcast the guy that owns the Horseshoe, Rob Hagman, talk about how he's turned that around. And also HCI, Healthcare Innovations, being rebranded as North County EMS, why you should want to know a little bit more about the emergency ambulance service you might have to use someday. Hopefully not, but you never know. By the way, if you like this quick wrap up and you want to send in your own Friday finishers, give me your name and a way that I can get back to you and confirm that it is you. And I will use them on the Friday finisher segment, and I will give you the credit for turning them in. So, first of all, a Friday fallacy. It's a fallacy to expect the national media to come clean about anything, to tell the true story anymore, and I'm referring specifically to the mass shooting that occurred in Canada, our neighbor to the north, for those of you from Rio Linda. But it was a terrible thing. It was another mass shooting. 8 people were killed. They said initially 9, but then reduced it by 1. But the reason that I'm bringing this up is the shooter was another transgender individual. It was a man transitioning to be a woman. When this guy was shooting things up, he was wearing a dress. So I guess that makes him, I get confused about this whole transgender BS. Was he a woman who used to be a man or a man posing as a woman? I don't know. But anyway, the Royal Canadian Mounted Police referred to him as a a shooter person, a gun person, if you can believe that. And the national media in the States has pretty much ignored the story because, of course, it doesn't fit with their narrative. The Friday finisher fool for the day is Arizona Attorney General Kris Mayes. You may recall that a couple of weeks back, she seemed to imply that if you are approached by a mass law enforcement officer, agent, whatever, and you feel like shooting him because you think you're going to be arrested or in danger or what, I don't know. She just seemed to say that it's okay to do that because you can fall back on Arizona stand your ground law. Now, that one went national. She was called out for the fool that she is, so that's why she is this Friday finisher's fool. Follies. The Follies Award for this week's Friday Finishers goes to the national media for the way they are covering the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie. Excuse me. And the reason I say that is this would not be a national story except for the fact that Nancy Guthrie is the mother of Savannah Guthrie, the NBC Today Show co-host. Otherwise, this wouldn't be national news. Just Google on any given day how many missing persons cases there are across the entire country, and there's a lot. So why is this being singled out? Because it's sensational, and the national media can score on it, score points. Now let's talk about some kudos or pats on the back. First of all, I want to thank Thola for his work and his team of volunteers for the work they do on the Cochise Country Music Festival, CochiseCountryFest.com. Our first sponsor, by the way. They are putting on a 3-day country music festival that features headliners every day, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and a lot of other bands. There will be something going on one of the 2 stages or both. No, one of the 2 stages. Sorry about that. starting at 1 p.m. every day. ADI Job Fair. Aluminum Dynamics put on a job fair a couple of weekends ago. They had more than 300 people show up who applied for about 100 available jobs. Most of the salaries are $50,000 and above. If someone gets that, they are doing well. And it's quite an economic boon to the community, especially for those job seekers. We wish all of them well. And finally, I want to wrap up by saying that the city has done a heck of a job. In case you missed it, down by the old Lions Park and a little bit west of there, new pickleball courts, a beautiful facility. In fact, the city's doing a good job with all of the park's facilities. They had a ribbon cutting and introduced that to the public. Really a nice facility, and I want to thank the city of Benson for the work they're doing with the parks. So that's pretty much it. This week's Friday Finishers concludes with catch you next time.